work is clear. We must extend our majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. We must flip the Senate, and we must elect Donald J. Trump, the next president of the United States.
A shocking new poll shows Donald Trump leading in the state of New Jersey as the post-debate fallout continues to spell disaster for Joe Biden. All right, folks, welcome to today's video. If you like the content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. But let's talk about the state of the election today, because as you can probably guess, following Thursday night's CNN debate, Joe Biden is not in a good position, and there's plenty of data to back that up. But we might as well start by pointing out this, because a lot of people are talking about it. This was actually before the debate, by the way. A poll came out of the state of New Jersey, which we all know is not a red state, if I'm not mistaken, has not gone Republican since the 1988 election, shows Trump leading by 1 point over Biden, right? 41% to Biden's 40%. Now, it's worth noting before people go crazy that this comes from Coefficient, which is a right-leaning pollster. And so we could say this is an outlier. I'm not exactly saying that Trump is going to win in the state of New Jersey, but big picture, what does it more so show? It shows overall, you want to talk nationally, you want to go over to the swing states. If any of these polls show Trump making it close in Jersey, how do you think that's affecting the battleground states? How do you think that's affecting the national environment? And just the fact that we see something like this alone, even if it is a little skewed to the right, hey, if the Republicans are remotely competitive, you know, within 10 in the state of Jersey, you gotta imagine it does not spell good news for the rest of the election if you are a Democrat. Now, this is also worth noting because you may have wondered, Joe Biden was not alive at Thursday's debate. It was a terrible performance. How is it impacting the overall perception of voters? Well, I thought this post-debate poll out of the New York Post is very telling. So going into the debate, in their poll, Joe Biden led Donald Trump in the national vote by 2 points, right? 43 to 41%. Post-debate, we saw a 9-point swing in the popular vote in favor of Trump. So before, Biden was leading by 2. Now in the post-debate one, after watching that dumpster fire that Joe Biden put on TV, Donald Trump now leads in this poll by 7%. That, folks, is a big swing. Now, in fairness, I do think we will see that margin tilt back for Biden a little bit, because a lot of the people perhaps who saw the debate were planning to vote for Biden. Maybe in a couple months, they calm down a little bit more and say, okay, Joe, I'll vote for you. But still, this is a big swing. And of course, considering Donald Trump was already leading Joe Biden going into this debate, the fact that he bombed the debate so badly and so horribly suggests this election is cracked wide open. And you even see polls suggesting it may be close in New Jersey. That all comes to this central point, which is, I think if you're Trump, it is now a smart strategy to try to expand the map. And you know what immediately I thought after I saw Thursday night's performance from Joe Biden? I looked at that poll out of Jersey and said, yeah, it's probably not worth it trying to spend a bunch of resources trying to flip that state. But you know what did just become a battleground state, in my opinion? Virginia, the very place that Trump did his rally at yesterday. And considering the dumpster fire that Joe Biden was, I think it is now time, especially this month, to focus on expanding the electoral map, right? Obviously, don't get complacent. Don't neglect the places we absolutely need to win to get to 270 and maybe are still a little too close for comfort. But I look at Virginia, a state that's been blue for the past couple decades, but obviously Glenn Youngkin won there in 2021, and say, why not? Why not rally there even late for the election? Why not try to make a play for it? Because when you take a look at the RCP average, and keep in mind, this is before accounting for the month of June. So this is before the debate. This is actually right off the heels of the Trump conviction. In the average of all of the major and considered credible polls, Joe Biden only leads in the state of Virginia by 2.2 points. And again, this is factoring in before the month of June, before the debate where some polls were showing a 9-point swing in favor of Donald Trump. So are we really going to look at the state of Virginia and say it didn't just come on the electoral map in response to that debate? I think the answer is obviously yes. Now, that said, people may say, okay, Vince, it's not really worth it. I get it. Maybe you're getting cocky. Maybe you're getting confident after Joe Biden bombing at the debate, but we shouldn't really waste our time doing this. I strongly disagree, and I'll tell you why. First of all, New Jersey may be a little bit of a reach. Virginia, in my opinion, based on polling alone, is nearing a battleground state status already in this election, so I fully think it's worth it. But beyond that, there are actually plenty of pragmatic and smart reasons why I think the Trump campaign should make a serious play for the state of Virginia. And the biggest reason is that it actually provides us another path to victory in the election. Because think about this for a second. If you're familiar at all with the polls, you'll know that in this cycle, on average, Trump, for whatever reason, has been doing a lot better in the Sun Belt states than the Rust Belt states, right? When you look at the polls out of, say, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, they're still pretty deadlock close. But some of these polls are showing Trump way ahead in places like Georgia, North Carolina. They've taken out of the polling aggregate because it's that big. And even Nevada, Trump has a multi-point lead. And so if we're going to consider that, again, it at least seems based on the polls that the Sun Belt currently is Trump's political strength, well, adding Virginia, which is already close, into the play could maybe provide us another path to 270. I'm not saying that this is the most likely scenario, okay? I'm not saying this is my electoral prediction by any means, but it is slightly possible. And let's just say perhaps, although it's unlikely, Biden ends up winning all three of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Well, under the traditional electoral map, that means Democrats are guaranteed to win the election. However, once again, if we do see an overperformance by Trump in the southern half of the country, like the polls have been showing may actually be true here, and obviously Trump does very well in the state that borders Virginia, which is North Carolina, let's say hypothetically that Trump does manage to flip Virginia because he made a serious play for it. Well, looking at that, depending even on how Nevada goes, but let's just say also Nevada goes red. If he's doing better in the Sun Belt, then you have a path to 270 without any of the Rust Belt states, and boom, you have a path to 270 and the White House. I'm not saying it's the most likely scenario, but why not provide more paths to victory? You raise several $100 million in response to the conviction. Might as well try to put it somewhere. So that's number one. It's not me being cocky. It's not me being arrogant necessarily. I think there are legitimate reasons to believe it is worthwhile to make a play for Virginia in the 2024 cycle. That's number one. But also number two, you also have a valuable asset in that state, which is, of course, the sitting governor, Glenn Youngkin.
And the president coming to Virginia today, I think, is reflective of the fact that Virginia is in play. And Virginia is in play. And think about it.
Which, by the way, you don't have in a place like Michigan, New Hampshire, or even New Jersey, maybe other places that the Trump campaign thinks of expanding the map. But no, in the state of Virginia, you have a Republican governor who, you remember back to 2021, pulled off the upset of the century, flipped Virginia red. And he's very popular there because he manages to be liked by the Trump base in Virginia while also doing well with the suburban moderates and independents who don't necessarily like Donald all that much. But the most important point, as we saw from yesterday's rally, Glenn Youngkin is fully on board. He is fully a team player, which I always had an instinct of. You know, I always liked Glenn Youngkin. I know a lot of people think he's a rhino. I said, no, guys, you don't understand. He is a Republican in a very blue state. He's playing politics, yes, but I always thought he's ultimately going to come around to our side in 2024. And you can see he fully did. He's fully willing to cooperate. So if Virginia, despite its recent history as a blue state, is ultimately close, maybe the endorsement of the popular sitting governor, especially in some of those Loudoun County suburbs that are a little bit skeptical of Trump, could ultimately make the difference. So, and this is why I say, in my opinion, Virginia is officially a battleground state in 2024, and I believe Donald Trump should put his full effort into making a play for it while also not neglecting, obviously, the current battleground states. And that's why I have more confidence in Virginia than a place like, say, Minnesota. I know some other people say, why not expand the map to Minnesota? You almost won it in 2016. The problem is Minnesota politically is just a stubborn place. I mean, you're talking about the only place that Ronald Reagan lost in 1984. I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, it's gone red since Nixon. And so while it is true Trump did come pretty close in 2016, I really wouldn't put a lot of faith in Minnesota. They are very stubbornly Democrat. However, in Virginia, not only did it used to be a red state as early as the 21st century, but also, again, Glenn Youngkin being fully on board, and props to him for doing so, because I think he's really sort of risking his political career in his state on Donald Trump. That could also make the big difference. So with that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on the current state of the election. Do you think it's smart to actually make a play for Virginia? Do you agree with my assessment that following that debate and the collapse of Joe Biden, Virginia is now a battleground state? Be sure to let me know. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and until next time, Alpha Moves Only, God bless. Have a very great rest of your day, and peace.